Coach, when you look back at the film and generally speaking, what is the key for you guys to get more of a boost from your passing game? You've been efficient until yesterday in terms of protecting the ball, plays in the red zone, but what is the key to maybe get a little bit more from your passing game moving forward?
Yeah, I think there's probably a combination of two or three things. I think it starts with protection. I think the communication's got to be on point. We finished the game yesterday. The last play of the game, we leave a shift off. And so at the snap of the ball, you have three receivers that are trying to run a route, but they haven't shifted into their final formation. So my experience has always been it's the details. It's the little things, and those things have to be better.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yes, Coach. About deferring makes all the sense game strategy wise, but you continue to struggle. You continue to struggle with the that first series after the first half. Have you looked at it again? What's been some of the issues there?
Yeah, like I said, I think a couple things yesterday that I start off the first play of the second half with a naked. We take a minus play. It's a bad call by me. I don't think there's one thing specifically, but certainly it's something we've talked about. And we may look at putting together a second script between the second quarter and the start of the third quarter. But that's not going to impact whether we defer or not.
Go ahead, Parker.
Hey, Sean, obviously you got the 3 conversions on fourth down, but 0 of 11 on third down, and with a manageable average, distance to gain. Was there a
common 100% agreed
common theme on that?
No, it's not good enough. Obviously, it's frustrating. It's a combination of a handful of things: protection, guys open, us not making a play. But I felt like the yardage, the distances were what we wanted. And yet, we've got to be better in that area. Our third down plan obviously is got to be cleaner. But it wasn't a game where so many of them were third and long.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Hey, Sean, I know it's maybe a little early to ask this, but whether it was post-game in the locker room, flight, and the guys that you've come across this morning or obviously other coaches, does it feel different after this loss? Because you mentioned it, this Monday will be different. It's been a while since the loss versus the ones early in the year where the sky was falling and you haven't been here in years past, but everybody's ready to blow everything up here in panic versus just, oh, tough loss. Let's bounce back now.
Well, everything got blown up this past off season. And so I think good question. I think they all stink. The losses do. They feel that way. They're just disappointing. I think what I said to the team a little bit earlier was, you're going to play 17 games, and man, are you going to be gunpowder ready for each one of those? I'm not so sure that you are. And yet yesterday's a game, despite how poorly we started, you're going to be frustrated when you watch the tape and you see the multiple opportunities we have. But we let a guy run free, early in the game on a punt rush. Defensively, we're off the field in in a red zone situation. We let a rookie bait us into a personal foul. That's 4 points. Instead of finishing that game needing a touchdown, we're kicking a field goal to win. Offensively, we talked about it, the communication. The communication has to improve, especially on the road. Too many snaps where guys aren't ready, or we didn't get the shift, or we didn't get the call, and that's troubling, especially this time of the year.
Go ahead, Zach.
Hey, Coach, pass protection had been seemingly a lot better the past couple of weeks. What broke down in the struggles to lead to yesterday?
Well, it's probably 2 or 3 different things. There's push from the right side. We've got to be able to stop that. All right. And you give them credit. They've got a good group. They got a good young group of guys that can rush the passer. We leave a little early a couple times, and then pretty soon your pocket's compromised, and now you're better off just being out of the pocket. So just from a consistency standpoint, I thought we handled some of the better play action stuff. Our protections were good, for some of the down the field throws, but down in and down out, we've got to be more consistent there.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, Sean, Lucas Kroll hasn't played a lot and doesn't have a career NFL catch. With that in mind, what was the thinking on having him in on that final play and then ultimately going to him in the end zone?
Well, let's go reverse order. All right, if you were listening to what I said earlier, I don't know what the last play is. I wish I could give it a name. All right, well, let's call it chaos. All right, and so, all right, there was no shift, and so certainly from your vantage point, it looks like, man, they're calling on Lucas to be the hero here. I can promise you he was in the progression of 3 receivers, but the shift doesn't happen. Then we're playing street ball. And so what does Lucas provide? We feel he does give us a real good receiving threat, speed down the field. And, as part of our 2-minute speed 11 group, if you will. But I don't blame you for looking at that play and kind of wondering where people are at and where's the ball going. I was doing the same thing.
Go ahead, Darren.
All right, Coach, to follow up on that, on the TV broadcast, they showed Jerry Jeudy was wide open on that fourth down play and his visible frustrations.
It's a different play. It's a different play, right? You're not talking about that play.
Yeah.
Fourth and 1.
Yeah. My question.
Play.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to the communication thing. Is that an issue of not seeing the field right, or is Russ just doing what he's doing? It just came across that Jeudy was incredibly frustrated on that play, and I'm just not sure what you were seeing when you look at the film, specifically on play like that, and maybe other plays.
No, I think it's a fair question, Jerry. Look, he went through a stretch, man, where it was, I don't want to call it a dry spell, but certainly frustration. Even when we won, he's wanting to be a part of it. We're wanting to get his hands on the ball. That was a play, though, where they dropped coverage, and he very easily was a viable target for a big play. And I think finally, he was able to make a few in that game. And really, if you look at the tape closely and you watch all of it, I know some of you get to do that. If you watch all of it, holy cow, there's about 2 or 3 of those plays.
Okay.
Go ahead, Parker.
Yeah. Hey, Sean, with the just going back to when you set your roster for the game, can you sort of give the rationale for bringing Ben DiNucci up from the practice squad and then having him inactive during the game?
Yeah, it's a way for us to help a player relative to games on active rosters. Sometimes it gets competitive with another team trying to take a player from you. I know it's a little confusing. I think as soon as you guys saw him come up, it's like, oh, something wrong with the other 2. But it's a way for us to help, invest in someone that we want or we see being here as a young developmental player. And so that would be the easiest way to explain it.
Was there another team in particular that was trying to make fun of him?
Yeah, a long time ago, though. So all good.
All right, Coach. I think that's all the questions we have in the queue for you.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you.